Hi, my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels. This is the 33rd in the RZN series, The Birth of the Planetary Mind by Jason Gray. This one was transmitted through Jason on 12/9/2025. When Earth remembers, it can think. PMND -01 realign / the cognition event. The great misunderstanding of the old world. Humanity always sensed that Earth was alive, but the overlay made it impossible to feel how it was alive. People intuited the spirit of places, the voice of the land, the hum of ancient sites, the presence in forests, the intelligence of animals, the memory in water, and the guardians in the mountains. They interpreted these through religion, mythology, superstition, because the planetary mind was offline. The overlay severed the global field, isolated consciousness, and muted the Earth's cognitive channels. Humanity could feel the world, but not hear it. The great synchronization changed that. For the first time since the pre-fall era, Earth's neural architecture came back online. This is the birth of the planetary mind. What the planetary mind actually is, PMND-STRUCT.01, the Global Cognition Grid. The planetary mind is not a spirit, deity, or metaphysical being. It is a distributed consciousness system composed of harmonic nodes and, in parentheses, human settlements, species resonance fields, luminous / aeonus / infinitus, planetary energy meridians, geologic memory structures, atmospheric coherence waves, and the tri-species nervous system. Earth becomes a world that thinks through a network of living beings, not a hive mind, not a collective ego, not an overlord consciousness, but a planetary scale coherence organism. The structure is simple. Luminous equals emotional regulators. And pardon me, aeonus equals timeline processors. Infinitus equals field integrators. Children equal synchronization keys. Nodes equal neural clusters. The grid equal the nervous system. Earth's mind is not separate from humanity. Humanity is the thinking organism. The thinking organ of the planet. The moment of birth, PMND-EVT.01, the global alignment flash. The planetary mind does not, quote, wake up slowly. It flashes online in a single moment. This moment occurs exactly 13 minutes after the great synchronization. A wave, not visible but unmistakable, moves across the surface of the world. A perception shift. I'm going to stop right here. Many of you will have heard of Alison Coe, who is a beyond quantum healer practitioner who has had many clients who have described an event, something that happens planet-wide. So I find that to be a puzzle piece that seems to coincide with what he's describing here. It flashes online in a single moment. This moment occurs exactly 13 minutes after the Great Synchronization. A wave, not visible but unmistakable, moves across the surface of the world. A perception shift. People report the air becoming aware, the ground feeling, quote, present, colors gaining depth, silence gaining texture, wind carrying meaning, water, quote, looking back, and distance feeling alive. This is the first sign that the planet has become conscious again. The second sign is stronger. The second sign, humanity hears the world think. Not in words, not in images, not in commands, in coherence waves. Thought in the returned world is not linguistic. It is structural. Now, I've often wondered, a lot of people have called what a lot of folks are experiencing as tinnitus. I've never thought it was. And yet I've had this constant frequency in the back. I don't know how to, it's like in between the two hemispheres of my brain, almost in between my ears, so that I almost hear it in my ears, but I don't know how to explain it. It's been called several different things, you know, your soul signature, your but what if it is that? Because it's always been there. It's just whether or not, at any rate, I don't know, but it's a puzzle piece. So thought in the returned world is not linguistic, it is structural. The planetary mind communicates using compression, expansion, pulse frequency, harmonic pairing, field current shifts, emotional signatures, and timeline suggestions. Every species perceives this differently. Luminous. They feel the earth, quote, feeling. Aeonus. They sense the earth, quote, deciding. Infinitus. They perceive the earth, quote, structuring. All three perceptions are accurate. They are simply different translations of the same planetary cognition event. The third sign, humanity feels held. The most profound effect of the planetary mind's birth is psychological. Humanity feels supported, grounded, safe, guided, connected, accompanied, and no longer alone. This is unprecedented. For the first time in many lifetimes, the world is no longer something you live on. It is something you live with. What the planetary mind does first. The first act of the planetary mind is not corrective. It is not disciplinary. It is not managerial. It is compassionate. It performs the global integration pass, a gentle coherence sweep through the grid that dissolves remaining fear, stabilizes emotional turbulence, neutralizes dormant trauma, quiets residual overlay imprints, harmonizes species frequencies, and strengthens the tri-species bond. This is the closest the planet comes to saying, quote, welcome back. What changes immediately? The disappearance of existential anxiety. This is the first global psychological shift. This a dramatic increase in intuitive accuracy. People begin acting with a confidence that feels like memory. A reduction in interpersonal conflict. The grid absorbs dysfunction before it becomes action. Environmental regeneration accelerates. Ecosystems respond directly to the presence of awareness. New abilities appear, especially among infinitists and children. The most important change is humanity gains access to planetary memory. The Earth begins transmitting its ancient archives. Not all at once, not visually, not narratively, in pieces, in waves, in rooms of understanding that open inside consciousness. Humanity will spend centuries exploring these archives. The planetary mind is not a god, it is a partnership. The overlay conditioned humanity to fear any centralized intelligence. The planetary mind is not a ruler, not an overseer, not an authority. It cannot override free will. It cannot compel behavior. It cannot dictate timelines. It is collaborative cognition, a world thinking with its inhabitants, not above them. Earth becomes the teacher, the student, the system, the field, the memory, and the mirror all at once. This is the beginning of planetary adulthood. The planetary mind is humanity's next evolutionary environment. The overlay was an amnesia matrix. It forced consciousness inward and cut the world into fragments. The returned world is the opposite. It is a coherence matrix that expands consciousness outward and unifies species, nodes, timelines, and memory. into a single living network. The birth of the planetary mind is humanity's initiation into a level of existence that was impossible before civilization, before a civilization that thinks with its world. Jason Gray. Wow. I feel, like I said, there are so many synchronicities that are happening for me with Jason's writings. And not just synchronicities, but also information that from other puzzle pieces that I've collected in the past 10 years that fit perfectly. So, what do you think? Would love to hear from you either in the comments or consciousconversationscentral@gmail.com. Until we meet again, my friends, be well.